And can he ever bounce back from what happened in South Africa? Joining me, as you can see now, is Zarif Rasul from FanCast's.com and also on the right, Marcus Speller from FootballRamble.com. Good evening to both of you. What do you make of it, Marcus?
It's a strange one, isn't it? I mean, he's been living in England a few years now, and his grasp of English should perhaps be a little bit better. But the players never seem to say that they struggle with communications with Capello, but then they probably wouldn't say if they did.
Zarif, do you think communication's letting him down?
Potentially. I mean, he's been living in England for nearly 3 years now, and without sounding disrespectful, his grasp of English is sort of remedial at the moment, really. So if he can't communicate what he's saying to journalists, how on earth are some of these players going to understand what he's saying?
Marcus, you're saying about the players. That's a good point, actually. Do you think they're keeping quiet? Perhaps some of them do have a feeling that they can't understand what he wants them to do.
Possibly, but I mean, I've never really heard that before from people who've played from Capello's teams, you know, all around Europe. He's managed many different teams. So I'm not too sure. I mean, he certainly does strike fear. So I don't think the players would speak out against him. So it is a very difficult one to get your head around.
What about this news conference today? It was supposed to bring him back in the game, if you pardon the pun, and show that he was in control. Do you feel after watching it that is the man who knows what to do to make England win?
I think he knows, how to make England click and how to make them do well, but I think he's under immense pressure at the moment. He's never faced a situation like this before as England manager, really. It's still quite intense and fresh after the World Cup.
I think he's on £6 million a year, isn't it? He should be coming up with the results. He should be in control, shouldn't he?
Yeah, well, I think Capello, you appoint a man like Capello to sort things out. He is a man who's managed some of the top clubs in Europe, and he's you think to yourself, if this guy can't sort it out, then is our national team in real disarray? I mean, you'd have to worry. If Capello can't sort it out, who can? The FA have got him in to get the England team playing, to do well at tournaments. His first one hasn't gone well. He, as you were saying, he's under immense pressure.
So is there a feeling, when after the World Cup disaster and England crashed out, a lot of blame was put on the players and not the manager? Do you think after today it's swung back round to the problem is with Capello?
It has been. I feel like that is the case, but these players have underperformed heavily at the World Cup. I mean, I personally, from that perspective, think that Capello can only do so much, really. If the players aren't following his instructions on the pitch and not performing to the best of their abilities, what else can he do, really?
It's friendly coming up against Hungary on Wednesday. I mean, how important is it that England will do well in that? Because they seem to just phone it in for the World Cup. What are they going to do in a friendly?
I don't think the friendlies, I think people are making too much of it, to be honest. Often these England friendlies are just showpieces for the FA to kind of show off Wembley and whatnot, I think. But it would be nice to get a good result off the back of a poor World Cup. Maybe give a few of the younger players a go, as Jack Wilshere, for example, is in there. And also, I think maybe he's called up a few of these younger players just to give them a little bit of a taste of international football, or at least show them what can be, what can be achieved. Because he doesn't like it when players don't play. And if young players are playing for clubs and they're not playing, that will annoy Capello, and so perhaps it will make players look to go to clubs where they will play.
We've got you both here, so talk about another big football story online today, and it's Martin O'Neill quitting Aston Villa. What's the talk online about that, and what's the feeling? Because the club's not actually sort of said why he's gone.
Very strange, that one. I mean, he's quit at arguably the worst possible time for his club. The season starts on Saturday. They're going to find it very hard to find an adequate replacement in time. And, I think there has been unrest, there has been sort of murmurs of discontent towards the owner, Randy Lerner. And I know that, Villa over the last few seasons, I've seen people like Gareth Barry, their captain, leave. This seems like, James Milner will leave to Manchester City at some point. So maybe he's feeling that he's not getting the investment and backing needed to take his club onto the next level.
Marcus, just a brief thought from you?
Yeah, as Zarif was saying, it's crazy. I can't believe he's left. And the way the Villa spokesperson came out and sort of said, "Oh, well, thank you very much, Martin." It was almost like an older manager leaving at the end of a season rather than a good, well, not young manager, but a manager in his prime leaving at the start of the season. Incredible scene.
The plot thickens. I'm sure it'll play out tomorrow and the rest of the week as well. Zarif, Marcus, thanks very much for joining us.